Welcome back. Chalky Milk Gang podcast back at it again. Season 3, episode 8, 26th overall episode of the podcast. We're just back again on a Wednesday for a great time. Every Wednesday, we just come at you with this type of content. We got the usual trio here, but we got our first Boston University special guest, Dan Hagan. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. We love to see, all three of our universities represented at this point. It's a great time. Today we're going to, take it back a few years. We're going to talk about high school sports. We all played it. We all experienced it. There's been some highs, there's been some lows, but it's an interesting thing that we haven't really covered yet. So that would be cool. But we are the Chalky Milk Gang, and everyone always talks about the fan favorite, the Chalky Milk Review. So why don't we just dive right into that? Who wants to go first?
I'll take it. I don't have anything super interesting. It is a little bit of a variation. I got, instead of the regular TruMoo, I got TruMoo chocolate whole milk. So this will really give my insides a ride for, a ride for it. I don't know. I already poured it out. I got really excited. I won't lie. It's just the red really brings it together. You know what I mean? Just the red aesthetic.
Yeah, no, it's
the
cool.
regular
it's
brown.
very cool.
Yeah. And then it's also got vitamin D, so that's cool. I don't know. I don't have too high hopes for this. It's just gonna be TruMoo, but way thicker, which will be nice, I guess. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what I said. TruMoo, we already know has a pretty good kind of classic flavor, at least in my opinion. But it's not perfect. I don't know. The flavor has always been a little off for me. Not that it's not. I think partially that it's not chocolatey enough, but also that it's not as rich. It's definitely because of the texture here is a lot richer and creamier, which it literally says in the bottle because it's whole milk. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't bump it up by much. I've stopped getting so turned on by that type of thing. It's gotta be chocolatey and it's gotta be legit. Natural. I like that word better. And this is not it. It's still good though. I'm gonna give it a 7.4. It's decent. I just railed it, but it's decent.
The Chalky Milk Goat, foolserrand.com. He has a YouTube channel. He got 335 subs, and he just does chocolate milk reviews. He gave TruMoo, that specific one, a pretty big review. I gave him
dope pour.
Whoa,
that's a
look
pour.
At that pour. He gave a pretty nice review. Go check him out on YouTube. I gave him a comment. He replied back. What a nice guy.
You should try to get a collab.
Yes. Hey, if you're watching, pull out.
Who's next? Chimo, you're already drinking it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot. I got the Lactaid again because you got to bring back the vibes. Gave it a 7.8. It stays with that score. You just dive right in. You drink it like normal chocolate milk. There's no real variety there. But, let's bring back, look at this art. Got the cow. Just giving a vibe. Got the cookie for no reason. So you gotta love that. It's gluten-free. It's lactate. It contains milk. Interesting stuff. But yeah, it's a 7.8. It's a great time. Great art on it. Look at the graphics on the milk. All this just dunking around. You gotta love that. But 7.8. That's it.
Was it? Will you go?
All right, I have something weird. So I couldn't find chocolate milk at the grocery store I go to because they only have Fairlife and Silk. So I got a hot chocolate packet, and I was gonna refrigerate it because I think hot chocolate cold isn't that kind of just chocolate milk if it's made with milk. Discussion we could table that, but I didn't have a big enough bowl, or a big enough cup, so I microwaved it in a bowl and I just poured it into a cup and I spilled a lot on my desk. But let's take it. It's also not cold because I just made it. It's room temp.
So you made hot chocolate.
Yeah, and it's really good because it's hot chocolate.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it deserves a score because it's too hot.
Give it. I don't know.
Debatable.
Give it a thumbs up or something.
You could honestly give it a rookie score if you.
I'll give it a rookie score. I'd say it's an 8 rookie score.
Mm-hmm.
8. It's not really a chocolate milk, but if you were
But if it were, it'd be really good.
Yeah,
But
that's pretty
I'll
cool.
do better next time. I also have cookies, so I might dip.
Yeah, like the freaking Lactaid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that reminded me.
Absolutely.
We left Dan for last because he got an interesting brand of chocolate milk. Something
He
that we
sinned. He sinned.
Made it. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just a guest here. I'm not super familiar with ethics of chocolate milk, but we got the Fairlife. We got the 50% less sugar than chocolate milk, so even if it's not healthy for the cows, it's healthy for you. 13 grams of protein a serving, artificial growth, no hormones. And instead of like chocolate, we got like alkalized cocoa in here, whatever that means. And yeah, I don't have a cup because I didn't come prepared like that, but we're drinking straight out the bottle.
Sure.
He hits it raw.
He does it raw.
Honestly, it's pretty solid. Like
0-0. Yeah, I know.
like if those cows got abused, they got abused like lovingly. Like there's some love made in this. I don't know. To not give it a rookie score, if the ethics of it do end up being pretty ass, it is what it is. I'm here for the flavor, not about the creation process of it. I give it a 6.6.
Okay.
That's fair. Like
Yeah.
that was a good review, I'd say. Not a great product, but
Thank you.
I can respect the quality in the review.
absolutely.
And then we're just gonna tag that with a little "do not buy this BS" disclaimer. Don't buy it. Don't buy it.
Yeah,
I
just
respect
don't
the
do
man,
it,
not the
man.
milk.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Exactly.
0-0. That's what I heard. So you gotta love that. But excellent review right there. And excellent reviews from all of you guys. I just feel like when we do this, we provide the content for the people.
Definitely. That's all right. And now everybody can click off, and we can
Yeah.
get into our discussion.
Now we're going to
We're
the meat.
talking about
for our
high school
moms.
sports.
Hey, mom.
But yeah, no, we're gonna be talking about high school sports. All of us played a sport in high school at some point or another, and even so, what was it? We all went to sports games, or at least that was a part of our culture, or not. But we can talk about that more, and talk about what it was like having that at high school as an experience. That was way too. We're gonna talk about high school sports. We'll start off. Dan, what did you play in high school? What sport did you play?
So it's actually a tragic backstory here.
Ooh.
I meant to be playing baseball, but freshman year, first day of tryouts, I forgot about. Second day of tryouts, I came down with strep. Third day of tryouts, I forgot my yellow card, where which is like my school's version of like, the nurse cleared you to play. And so
I think we had to do those too.
Yeah, so I could only do like a limited amount of practice. And then the coach was like, "Yeah, you know what? Like, you showed like some heart out there. Like, you played pretty well, but we just didn't see enough of you. Can't give you a spot." So, I ended up doing track. And sophomore year to senior year, I did soccer.
Hey, there you go. You figured it out.
Yeah.
The hero's journey.
They do.
I played baseball in high school. I was a high school graduate along with the other three. I played baseball. I didn't really play varsity till my senior year, but it was definitely an experience. It was a good time. Watched the sports, watched some football, watched some hockey. Shout out Chris Andrews. He was probably the best hockey player out there. Didn't get the playing time he deserved, but that guy just shoots the puck, the back pocket.
Definitely.
And Tyler and I both played volleyball, JV as freshmen and sophomores, and we got pulled up for the postseason to go to varsity as a sophomore. And then we both started. I started like every game junior and senior year, and Tyler started like half the games as a junior, and then all of them as a senior. Good times.
You gotta love that.
A lot of fun. And then
Just athletes.
on top of that, I also ran cross country, and not my primary sport. I wasn't really a varsity for that one, but I got my varsity letter senior year anyway, and it's a good time. Running is definitely fun. Dan can attest to that. But yeah, we all got some experience. No, okay, never mind.
Running sucks.
I stayed.
Why didn't you like running? Come on, Dan.
Just kept me in shape. Like nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, running's hard.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the hardest sport, just
Mhm.
because it's running.
Oh,
But it's
Right.
like, it
I mean,
sucks.
wrestling maybe.
Wrestling's a vibe. UFC, absolutely.
Shout out Desk.
Shout out Desk. Desk is our premier wrestling man, but just
Yeah.
like he just loses. It's tough. Tough
That-
thing to face.
his college career, he is 0-1. You know,
No, I think he's
Absolutely.
1-0.
wrestle fights. Jesus.
The Canadian wrestling league over at U Ottawa is just a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I would say I would maybe like rowing would be the hardest high school sport, right? I feel like
Rowing was pretty big in our
rowing is
town.
hard. Rowing is way more difficult. You have to like whittle your weight down to 150 if you're doing lightweight, and if you're doing heavyweight, you're expected to be like massive and fucking ridiculously fast. I don't know. That feels like a way more pressurized sport.
But
Although
it
it's also
wasn't
not
really a high school sport because they weren't a part
Yeah,
of our
they
high
had the
school.
team.
It's more just for us. So yeah, that's
They all like everyone that did rowing. I feel like they all like got Ivy League scholarships and stuff. Like they're
It's an Ivy sport.
It's an Ivy sport. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. It's interesting, like the cultures of our towns. Like I don't know if like Dan, like what sports were more popular than others, but for us, I definitely say like football and like well, football's good in every town. Lacrosse was pretty popular. Hockey was pretty popular and was good. And then like we had a lot of track friends. They liked track a lot. I was friends with all the volleyball kids. Rowing was pretty big. A lot of pickleball, all that sort of stuff.
People cared about baseball.
Yeah, they did. Probably not as much as lacrosse. I'm just thinking about it from like a school consensus,
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
like
People cared
just
if
depended what team was good.
People cared a little bit about every sport. But
Yeah.
they mainly cared about football.
Mhm.
Or, I don't know. Was there like a sport, one big sport that wasn't football for you, Dan? Because that seems to be big everywhere.
I mean, like suburban Massachusetts, it's all about like hockey and like
Yeah.
But if you go further into Boston, I think people care way more about like obviously football, like you said, and definitely like baseball, like MLB.
Oh yeah, definitely soccer too for us was pretty big. Both men's and women's
Yeah,
soccer.
see, that's why I say that.
Yeah.
'Cause there were a bunch of kids would go every year. It was a club, and they would go like cook meat and like burgers and stuff like at the soccer games. So like
Yeah.
people would go to a little bit of everything. You know, we had like the super fans like group to make sure that everyone did. It was more just like everybody went to a little bit of everything, and then the biggest ones were easily like football games.
I mean, it's always going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Where-
see. I
what-
wonder though. Like Dan, you've been to like football games before. Is it like the same vibe when you're going to like a high school hockey game in was it in like your area, Boston? Is it like everybody's as into it as they would be if they were going to like a football game? Or
I mean, I think people are, at least in my experience, are way more into like hockey. Like obviously, if you go to a football game, it's like, woo, go team and all that. But like hockey gets like, it gets volatile. It gets like toxic, both like on the ice and in the stands. Both like in high school, college, professionally, like people get like mad. I think it's just like really about 230-pound dudes just like slamming into each other that like absolutely hits like people like deep into their brains, like their hearts a bit more. I don't know. I think it's because they're on like ice. That makes it a little bit more chaotic, a little less stable, and that translates to the stands.
Ice is chaos. It's a great
Well,
time.
And also with hockey, there's no like downtime. Like in football, like there's the play and then you're done. But there's that sort of like constant like chaos going on with hockey.
Mm-hmm. I'd say for us, like
It's
the
just
hockey crowd wasn't as big as football, but definitely way more into the game. Like if you went to the hockey game, you like cared. Football game, you could just went and just like didn't even know what was going on. You're just there with like the fans. Does that make sense?
yeah, no, but I was gonna ask just because, like I said, like our like at least for us, I think the experience of our high school football would be people would show up, like the whole school would basically like pack the fan section, and people would just kind of scream their heads off and like be packed together, and like all the seniors and juniors, or at least a lot of them, would be like drunk, and then what was it? And then people would leave.
Everyone
But
would leave at like
halftime.
yeah 5
Yeah,
minutes
you wouldn't
after.
stay the whole game.
But so I gotta know, was it like the same, like you said it was toxic, which is interesting because we never really see, it's funny, our school, as much as we were like into the games, we never really like cared. Like we left after halftime. We didn't really care who won or lost. Like were you guys like, I assume y'all were like legit into the game, like toxic as in like booing at the other side's fans or something. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I think he was talking about hockey being.
I know.
It
That's
hockey?
what I'm asking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I completely agree with what you said, Alex, about the whole like people are just there to vibe at like football games, like hockey
yeah.
games. Like, there were some weirdo like anywhere from freshman to senior, there were some weirdo kids like that were always front row. And if there was like a family with like little kids from like the other town or whatever that would walk by, they would just go like oh like randomly. Like this is like a family. And those kids are probably like scarred for life after that. Because it's like a group of like 20 teenagers that are all just barking in unison at you. So people definitely get a little bit more riled up for hockey, in my opinion. I think people get way more invested into it, partially because, like you said, like it's always go mode. Like there's never like that much downtime. It's just like continued violence of getting like a piece of rubber into a net. It's just people are about their business with hockey.
Yeah, hockey's a big chirp sport. You just chirp at everybody.
Yep.
Fair enough. Yeah. See, like we had in previous episodes we talked about like was it hockey on like a college campus and how it kind of operates a little differently. But I would definitely say like for a lot of towns, like for our town at least, football is one of the big things because it's also like an area where the community can kind of come together. Like sure, I like the high school, like in the high school stands and like the student section, people are kind of like going nuts and they're all like packed together and stuff. But then like there's also like a lot of sections of like the stands where it's just, normal people watching the game. Like Dan said, there are kids, even if they're not as toxic as they would be at hockey games, there are kids just kind of like there with their families. All the Pee-wee football kids will run out onto the field at halftime and there's like cheerleaders and stuff. There's, like a town officials. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of something for everybody. And I would guess it's the same thing for hockey in your area, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, sports.
Wait, Dan, can I ask what town you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Reading, Mass.
Okay.
Okay.
Like 25 minutes north of Boston.
All right, because a lot of people at Tufts are like, I'm like right outside of Boston.
Mm.
Yeah, there's
I haven't heard of the
probably a
Reading
few UMass kids from Reading. I just hear every town, so they all just like get mixed up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that, did we? So Dan obviously isn't super familiar, but Alex Chima's from UMass, or at least he goes to UMass, and then Will goes to Tufts, and then I'm obviously at BU with you.
And then me, Tyler, and Will, we went to the same high school, Staples, out there. And then
I think he
Dan's
got
just
that
a
part.
special guest. You just gotta love that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I mean, as much fun as the football games were, we still, what was it? I think we still had like a similar vibe for our own volleyball games, which is kind of sick. We definitely didn't have as many people,
No.
but it was just as freaking loud and aggressive. And honestly, with some of our fans, it's still just as toxic. So it's a good freaking.
Oh yeah, well, Casey, dude,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
I was gonna say with volleyball, we didn't really have like fans come every time because like that's just not how that works. So it would always be like our parents, and they would like yell at their refs and stuff, and we'd have to tell them to stop because it's annoying. But that was funny. But like besides like the home playoff games, there was like 2 or 3 games that we would get like all of our friends to come, and it was so much fun to like experience that.
Yeah. I think I went to like 10 of your games like senior year. It was like pretty cool because like when you go to like your friend's sports game, you're like invested in the players too. You're not just invested in like the high school team or something like that. And maybe there wasn't like as many people at every game, but it's like it'd be like your friends that showed up, and that's all you really care about. I don't know. Like I felt that like you feel definitely pride, like me on the pitcher's mound when like I see the boys up there. Just cheering you on. It's definitely a good feeling, even if it's like not the most like popular sport. It's like you're just up there. It's a great time.
Yeah, I think one of like the best memories is serving in the state finals game on the side that our fans were sitting, and it was like Will Casey always in the front.
Oh yeah,
A bunch of other people, and it was like they're cheering like for me specifically. That's so weird.
yeah. No, that's cool. I don't know.
It's cool.
when I came in to pitch in the FCX championship game, blew the game, which stunk. But like when I threw a strike, everyone's like, go Chima, go Chima. I'm like, that's crazy. Like it felt good. It's like the only time ever in my life I'm ever gonna like get that sort of like sport athlete vibe. But it's a great time. It's a good feeling.
I mean, I don't think the same kind of iconic memories definitely come from like running because it's not as like hugely celebrated.
Everyone's just always packing the field house for those track matchups.
Like, I mean, you know what? Actually, I never ran track. I ran cross country. So maybe
yeah, same thing.
I mean, I know the answer, but did people care about track? Like, yeah. Okay, but to be fair, soccer is a different sport. I mean, I don't know. Every town's different, and we only got like to have like 20 people to go to like the big soccer games for us. But I don't know, did people really care about soccer at your town, or at least a little bit?
Like no one. Okay, so soccer was never one of those sports where it was like a bunch of people would show up. Like obviously senior night, like we had a bunch of our friends show up and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, soccer games are just like too long, dude. Like it's pretty easy to lose interest if you're not like super into soccer and you like know what's going down and you're like, oh, the coach is definitely like running this formation or whatever, like for this strategic reason. It's mostly just like people who aren't super into it. It just looks like some dudes kicking a ball around versus like it's pretty easy to get a feel for like just what's going on with like football or like hockey, because I feel like it's simpler in some aspects as like a spectator, but when you're playing the game it gets a lot more complex. But no, in terms of soccer at my school at least, pretty much the only people that showed up were like the players, the kids on the bench, the coaches, like parents once in a while, and maybe like a player's like girlfriend or boyfriend or like a couple of their friends that they're like, oh, like, you know, I have a really good feeling about today's game, like you should pull up, see what happens. But there definitely wasn't that like same level of passion for it for people who like came to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. One memory I definitely have from high school was we had our senior year. I don't remember if the guys were able to do that. They might have, but the girls' soccer team definitely went to the state finals. And I remember driving up, it's like 45 minutes out of the way just to go watch the game. I didn't even know any on the team. Me and my friends just went.
Yeah.
Time. There were like 50 people there, which I was really impressed by. You know, not like a ton of people. It wasn't a huge crowd, but it was, you know, it was still impressive. And like I can respect the fact that our high school is even able to turn out like even that many kids to go watch like a soccer game an hour away. Because like Dan said, it's not the most entertaining sport to watch. I think it was like a 1-2 game, and they lost too.
That's a tough L.
Right, but yeah, but I don't know. Like you said, Dan, I mean, it might not be the most fun game to watch, but it makes it all the more enticing when you can get people to go and see the games, you know? Yep. And I think, we definitely, me, Will, and Alex definitely underestimate how, like, committed our school's, like, fan base was to go into these games, you know?
Yeah,
like that's not something that usually happens, like the sense of kind of community that our high schools are able to build around sports, you know?
Yeah, like if your team was winning, then you definitely have some sort of crowd. It didn't matter what sport you were playing.
Yeah.
Like football team, like they used to like, I feel like they used to sell out every game, but our football team wasn't the greatest. Besides for Johnny Maisonette, greatest player out there. I like Johnny. You know, like I remember the first like football game I ever went to. I was like 9. They were playing for like an undefeated season, like a spot in the state finals, and like I remember the whole stadium was completely packed, and everyone was like going all around the whole stadium. Like it was a crazy game. And it's like now it's like, I know the football team will get better at some point, but it's just like I felt like our fans, it just mattered like what sport was doing well at the time, and whatever sport was doing well, you showed up to that, which is like kind of fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I don't know. What was it? It was just cool to have as like an experience, you know, because now I feel like, and then I sort of talked about this before, but like in college, it's like there are so many different like types of people and people with different interests. It's kind of hard to get everyone to rally around sports, you know? Like Dan, I'm sure you were saying before, like hockey is huge in Boston. I can't dispute that. But we only really get like at like an average game, like 75 to like 100 students to go to like and sit in the student section. I mean, that's still pretty good. But
it was
like,
a good time.
We have like,
School's like 14,000.
Is it 18,000 kids? 18,000 kids here, and we're getting like
Wait,
100.
no, 1,800.
No, 18. That what?
At BU.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about Stables.
No.
That would be kind of funny.
Just in comparison, like you think about that ratio, like 150 students to like 18,000 kids in comparison to in like high school when it was like 50 kids going to a soccer game and there are 500 kids in our grade and it's like 50 seniors. Like that's impressive.
That is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, just what was it? I that's definitely something I miss, that kind of sense of community. And that I don't know, and Dan can maybe also attest to this, but that was really the only reason I really enjoyed running at the end of it, was because, you know, the people were chill. There comes a certain point when running just sucks too much, you want to give up, but like all my friends are still doing it. So
yeah, I fully agree with you on that. With the whole hockey thing, I mean, the theory that I just came up with, like kind of on the spot, is like, so at like a high school hockey game, you're gonna get pretty decent turnout because like in our high school, pretty much everyone knows each other, or like everyone at least knows of each other, depending on like how big your school is. But when you have that sense like camaraderie, you're like, oh, like that's my goalie or whatever, like let's go, like that dude's, I got like calculus with him like tomorrow first period, let's go. Versus like in college where these people are kind of like, they're just figures to you. You don't really like know who they are. They're just like, oh, I guess we go to the same school. Never heard of the kid. Cool, glad for him. But in the city, when it comes to like, if you're gonna compare like high school and then college to like the Boston Bruins or whatever, like obviously I think you're gonna get bigger turnout and like viewing rates comparatively speaking, just because like people there are from Boston. It's like not just, oh, this is just like the school I go to. It's like, this is like the town that I live in, that I've been raised for like my entire life. So it's like, why would I not be proud of this type of thing? But again, college, it's just a whole different ball game. Like I think high school and professional can be compared to one another, but I think college, you kind of lose that like sense of community that you were talking about.
okay,
Yeah.
Professor Hagen, go off. Compare.
No, that was interesting. I don't know.
It makes a lot of sense though.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder what it's like at smaller colleges that are like similar sizes as high school. Maybe you get that similar type of community that you would get at typical high school, like a big high school like where we go to. Like let's say like smaller schools like Wesleyan or like Gettysburg, stuff like that near our area, like in the like east where it's like 2,500 kids. Like maybe you get the similar type of like community or camaraderie you get at least after like a year or two. You sort of get to know like everybody is like an actual person, I feel like, similar to high school if you go to like a smaller college.
Yeah, probably. I think unless you're like on the team at a school like Gettysburg, if you're not on the team, I don't know, I feel like there's less people that are super into the sport there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's probably differs for different schools and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not that these things can really be compared, but let's try comparing them anyway. What do you think was better in high school, playing a sport or watching a sport?
Playing a sport.
Playing.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Definitely playing. I don't know. Watching, like, you're like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, honestly, I don't know. Playing is just you actually like care. And it's like, that's like your team and like you're doing like, you have an impact on that. Like, yeah, it's way better to play.
Yeah. See, I agree with you guys too. I
Because
mean,
watching is like, it's fun for like 30 minutes, but like playing is like, you've put blood, sweat, and tears into this, and like you worked on your game, and if you get to actually like play in a game, like, you know, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Not everybody can do that, but everybody can watch a football game. Not everybody can play in a game.
True.
Now you gotta be elite to watch the game. You gotta be so good at football watching. It's out there.
Was it my dad? My dad always likes to talk about when we're watching tennis. He likes to think of this idea that he has. It's called the fan challenge, where you open up an app, and if you don't like a play that happens in any different game, whether it's like tennis or like football, let's say, if you don't like a call, if enough fans decide to use their fan challenge, then the play gets challenged and reviewed automatically.
That'd be really cool.
Really?
Isn't that an amazing idea? Patent pending.
That would be crazy.
I think it would. I that would never like work though, because you get it like if a Patriots game's happening, every Patriot fan that didn't like a call, even if it's like not really up for debate, they're gonna challenge it.
Like any play that goes against the home team could just get called.
I thought of this. So hear me out. What was it? There are 2 more conditions in order to use your challenge. One is you have to have the location services on so that they know that you're in the stadium. So if you're not there, you can't challenge. So that's a limited.
That's
challenge.
even worse though.
And you're only allowed to use your challenge once per game. So you have to make sure you use it on a good play when you know everyone else is going to challenge in the stadium. So everybody gets 1 challenge per play or per game, and so that way it's not like a ton of the time. And also it's like everybody in the stadium is going to participate. So it encourages coming to the games. You get more ticket revenue, and it encourages just like participating, which is like, isn't that just genius? Okay, sorry.
Dude, that's that good stuff.
It's still like the stadium's gonna be more full of home.
Exactly.
And it encourages home field advantage.
I
Like
guess
that's a whole
fair.
other thing now.
What if that like decided a championship?
Wouldn't that
Could
be?
imagine the madness.
Mhm.
That'd be kind of mad.
The
It's
sport
not, but also
would
like
not,
challenging. Like, let's be honest, as things progress more and more with technology, refs are just gonna get like replaced by technology anyway. Like, if a ref makes a bad call, they'll just automatically correct it or some BS. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna happen eventually. This is just a way more fun way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
What is it? But anyway, I digress. Sorry.
No, it's good.
It's like the human error is like part of the game though, you know? Like if an umpire or like they can very easily track balls and strikes like electronically, and like they do that for the TV, and they show like the 3D like path of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And they could easily get rid of umps, but like there's a certain, you know,
Yeah.
tangible aspect of like you gotta like appeal to the ump.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'd feel bad for the umps, like losing that sort of
Yeah.
like job and salary. It'd just be tough.
I was gonna say, did you ever have any like really bad refs during your game that like kind of threw? Because I know that can like that has a way bigger effect in soccer when it's like you only score like 1 or 2 goals a game, and if the ref screws you over when you're on a freaking breakaway, you get slide tackled and it's clearly a foul, it doesn't get called. It's like doesn't matter. Sorry, like you know what I mean? That ever happen?
I mean, the thing about me playing high school soccer was, so most people who like pick up soccer, it's one of those things that like you kind of get raised on it. Like from the second you're like 4, like 6 years old or whatever, you get put in your town's like rec league for it. Wasn't me. No. I picked up soccer sophomore year. Like I didn't just go on the team sophomore year. Like I started playing soccer when I was 16 years old.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So the thing, no, because I was ass at it. But
Oh, that's
but
so cool.
but the thing is, I didn't get that much play time, partially because I wasn't that good at it. So a lot of games I was like a ball boy. But when you get besides that, because obviously I got some play time, I feel like I didn't have enough knowledge about soccer to be like, oh, what an awful call. Because like there would be dudes on the bench with me or whatever, or like on the field with me, that would be like pissed at like a certain call. I was just like, I don't know, like the ref like seems right to me. Like I don't know that much about it, but it didn't seem like a awful call or whatever. But there were a couple times that like a couple of my teammates got injured, and I was like, okay, that's just like inherently and like overtly a wrong play or whatever, or like they deserved a yellow or red card for it. And sometimes that didn't come, but some of that could be like just biased because it's my team. But overall, I didn't see like I didn't have that personal experience where I was like, oh, this ref is like out of his mind, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I could definitely see where that would come into a soccer game completely, because so much of it is like subjective.
Yeah.
That was my next question. Is because all of us in high school, none of us played contact sports ever. You're the only one. So
Volleyball was the biggest contact sport.
Were there some pretty like bad injuries at any point, or?
Yeah, so actually, there was this kid Bowler. I was never super tight with him, but he was the varsity goalie for like he was varsity goalie since like 7th grade, because my school went 6th to 12th grade. He was mad good at being a goalie, partially because he was just like so aggressive. This kid got concussed 7 times in his career. He had 7 separate concussions because and one of them was actually the first year I started playing, because he was like diving for a ball that like he really shouldn't have. Like if he was a pro soccer goalie, like yeah, go ahead. But like, dude, we're still in high school. Come on, like you can't be making like crazy plays like that and expecting it to go super well. So he makes a diving play head first for a ball, and some kid's cleat goes like straight into like the top of his head, and then just like instant concussion, just like blood all over the field. It was a mess. I think that was definitely like the worst one that I was able to witness.
Dude, that is scary. My cousin played soccer throughout high school, and like, yeah, he had like 3 concussions or something, 2 or 3. And it's like, it's just scary. You don't want to be like around that. I don't know. It's just tough.
Yeah.
I remember I played soccer in middle school. Not quite the same, but I have one specific memory of one of our guys who is like overly aggressive, and he was just like pissed because he got the ball taken off of him. So he went up to the guy again, like slid tackled him, tried to take the ball off him, like straight just broke his collarbone. Like it was. I mean, I didn't want to like laugh or anything, but it was almost comical how, actually, you know what, now that I think about it, it wasn't. It was really serious because it was kind of obvious he was just pissed. But I laugh about it now because it was so fucking obvious that he was not like going for the ball at all. But it was middle school, so you can't like throw a kid out. So he ended up getting a
Who
yellow
was it?
card. But that was fun. I forget what his last. It was like Nico, but
Oh,
yeah, I don't remember.
he played football in high school.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it?
I mean, I don't think he was even that good. If it's the kid we're thinking about, I don't think he played a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting though. That's like me in FIFA. Every single time I play FIFA, I'm just slide tackling everywhere. So I just.
How much rage can you have as like a middle schooler though? Like how much pent up testosterone do you need in you to like do something like that at the age of like 12?
I mean, what was it? I feel like middle school kids, that's when people are like bullies, right? That's when you have the most
people's frontal lobes are
like
really developed.
uncontrolled masculine energy. I mean, people still have it in high school too, don't get me wrong, but they're more adult.
Yeah, I feel like that's when it comes out.
You're a little shit. So
I had a bully in like middle school and high school, but just she wasn't like it was Jake Phillips. Like he just like wasn't really.
That was like textbook case of like being insecure, so you just like push it on others. That was not anger. That was just
Shout out, by the way. He got a shout out in Good Morning Staples. I was like, hey, shout out Jake Phillips, like my boy since day one. He was angry about that, but hey, shout out again. You know what a homie.
They kill him with kindness.
Absolutely.
That's a chapter for another episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a funny story.
Yeah, and even though volleyball's not it's not a contact sport, but you get your fair share of injuries. I remember our senior year, our good friend Luke Press, future guest possibly.
The homie.
He went up for a kill and like hit the ball, and it went over and hit the defender on the other team straight in the face.
Oh, that was so funny.
And our team just kind of like collapsed into laughter. But like he had to get subbed out, and they like checked him for a concussion. He was fine, but it was like
that was hilarious. I don't even care. Like just the clip too. The clip of him just getting nailed in the face.
I edited it so it
oh my god.
It's like
wait, I've seen that video.
Yeah, the beginning of Hall of Batgirl was like
yeah.
It's a solid clip. Put in the super fans group. That got people to come to our games. So
yeah.
I think more than anything, high school sports is about like friends and community. As like cheesy as that is.
No, it makes sense.
It's like what was it for cross country? Like by the end of it, like I said, I was only running because I really liked the kids I was running with. They were all good guys, and like just going on a run every day, like you really get to know those people, and it makes running a lot more enjoyable because otherwise running kind of sucks. And then the same thing with literally any sport. Like I'm sure Dan can attest to this with soccer and running. Jimmy, you can attest to with baseball. Will and I can attest to with volleyball. It's like just get to know those people. You get to, you get closer with them, and you bond with them, and I don't know, you throw ragers when you win state finals with them.
Yeah.
What was it? Like that's just kind of how it is. And I think more than anything, that's probably what I miss about sports. So
Yeah. Pasta dinners. Pasta dinners were the best.
Oh, pasta dinners were so much fun.
My mom always had to bring me gluten-free pasta because I couldn't eat the regular pasta.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Wild
It took me
times.
like 3 years to realize that we would do it before home games and home games only. I thought it was just kind of like random.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, it didn't connect.
I think ours were kind of random. Dan, did you have pasta dinners?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Too good.
Like some
Free
of my
food.
best memories in terms of like sports were at like pasta dinners. They weren't even at like the games, because like at first you're just like so hyped. You're like, oh my god, like I'm about to like nosh out with my boys or whatever. And then just like that moment of like pure bliss when you're just like filled up with like marinara or Alfredo, whatever the hell you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite like it.
It's like
It's a
right
good
after
feeling.
practice. That's what we would do. We'd have practice for like 2 hours and then go to pasta dinner. Just eat so much like chicken parm and like penne. And then there's always cookies.
Yes.
Just go home and like it's senior year, so you don't have much homework. Oh,
It was good.
Phenomenal.
fun times.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. I think we've been talking about this for a while. Definitely solid discussion. Always love to get it moving, talk about different, more interesting things.
Yeah.
Bring in other people to talk about it with us. Thank you for coming on and speaking with us, Dan. As you're one of the first guests that I've brought as my own friend from BU, so I can respect you biting the bullet here going forward.
yes, we love meeting the people that are keeping Tyler safe when we aren't watching.
Absolutely.
Very unsafe.
Straight up.
Tyler can vouch. I'm keeping him very unsafe.
Yes.
Hey, good. Good.
Peace and love always.
Gotta live on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that about does it, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Thank you very much, Dan, for coming through to the pod today. And shout out to our moms for listening.
Moms.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hashtag moms.
I just feel like what we should do over the next next 2 years of our lives, just like keep coming out with these every Wednesday, so that our fans can sort of expect that. We've sort of been doing that lately, but just Chalky Milk fans, expect more pods coming out on the way.
Yeah, and while we're on that note, definitely be sure to subscribe. We are only a few subscribers away from 1,000, as Chimo always likes to say.
Dude, I literally think we're like one or two more. Like we just need one or two more. Am I wrong? I'm looking at our subscriber count. It's at 155. We're close.
No, we're pretty
That's
close.
just like 3 more. That's insane.
Dude, I know, right? If you
Bro,
want to subscribe, feel free.
I'm subbing right now as we speak.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, let's go. Now we're only
man.
2 away.
Yeah.
Also,
Let's do
follow
it.
the Instagram. We have
Follow
140
the gram.
followers. Not sure
That's
how
right.
that has more than we do subscribers, but we'll figure that out.
Absolutely. We'll be dropping content, cow appreciation posts, just lots of good stuff out there. Follow us on Spotify.
Look, here's Dan on our Instagram.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Dan has done a Chalky
Oh, wait a second. That is
special
Dan.
guest on the Instagram. We'll say that it was his audition to come on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were great in that video. Great audition.
What can I say?
Yeah. Definitely follow us on Spotify, especially if you don't want to see our faces. That's like a great idea. If you just want to listen to our audio. But hey, you know what? Non-podcast content coming on the way as we all head home from break from school. Too great. I think I should stop talking. Like the words just aren't there at this point.
Well, anyway, yeah, that about cuts it off. You wanna
Take us home, Shima.
All right. Hey, till next time. See ya.